Hey kids from around the world, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of tonight's webinar, What is Discipline? A very interesting topic, but I hope those who are live here and those who are watching this from YouTube or the recording out there on the interwebs, on the World Wide Web. Thanks so much, truly, for your time, kids. I know that there's a lot of things that you guys can do. So for those who are live or who are watching this, make sure to tell your friends or your parents, they're probably watching with you, or your teachers when you go to school the next day, because they'll probably be really proud of you. There's not very many kids out there right now who are taking time out of their day to watch webinars. So Idris, am I pronouncing that right? Thanks so much for being here live. I really appreciate it, and thanks for being here as always. So tonight's topic is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Kids, and discipline. What do those have? What do those have in common, right? Kids and discipline. Well, initially, a lot of kids and even myself might have like a negative connotation with the word discipline, right? It might mean that we're in trouble. Type in a 1 in the chat pane. Let's see if you guys can type in a 1 for me really quick. What's going on, Nima? How's it going, buddy? Type in a 1 if you've ever been in trouble and you received discipline from your mom and your dad. Maybe they said, maybe you got a spanking or something. They said, don't worry, this hurts you worse than it hurts me. That was a classic line from my pops. Don't worry, son, this is going to hurt you worse than it's going to hurt, or it's going to hurt me worse than it's going to hurt you. I'm like, I don't know, Dad, this hurts pretty bad. I was a pretty terrible kid. I'm not going to deny that. My mom, she probably watches all my videos, and she can attest that I was a pretty terrible little child. And so I got to understand what discipline was very, very well. And discipline, again, it can be a good thing, and it can be even a better thing. It's never really a bad thing. If you think about it like, hey, you're getting in trouble, and I'm getting and receiving discipline from my parents, that's an okay way to think about it for sure. But there's another way, another perception that I want to start ingraining in the young kid's mind of the day on the level of discipline that you're going to start receiving as a grown adult. Because you all here are going to get older day by day, year by year. So go ahead and type in the age group bracket. How old are you? Is what I'm trying to say. How old are you guys? Rowan, how old are you? Idris, I'm 27. Is that old for kids nowadays? I think it's pretty ancient. Nima says I'm 16. Idris says I'm 7. Rowan says I'm 9. Well, thanks so much for being here. That's a really wide range. I absolutely love it. So for those of you who are watching, I appreciate it so much. Our mission at Real Life Trading is to enrich lives, and I truly again say thank you for being here. Type in the number 2 if you're here live and you're with your parents. Type in a 3 if you're by yourself. Probably you're with your parents. Nima's with his dad. All right, awesome. Idris is with parents, and what about you, Rowan? All right, so they're with parents. Fantastic. Well, the parents are probably smiling about this whole discipline concept because again, it's going to be. It's not necessarily the discipline that you might be thinking about. That's why I said, what is discipline? It's not, hey, I'm in trouble and I'm going to get, my mom or my dad's going to get on to me. It's not necessarily that kind of discipline, but that does kind of tie into it just a little bit. So again, thanks so much for being here. So here's the truth of the matter. When I talk about discipline, we are all going to make mistakes. And kids, you may or may not know this. I'm not sure if you do. I didn't know this as a kid, but this is something that's entirely true. Your mom and your dad, your parents know for a 100% certainty that you're going to make mistakes. Parents, if you're here, hop over really quick and type in a 7 on the keyboard if you know that's true. The parents know that their kids are going to make mistakes. They fully expect you to make mistakes, not in a bad way or a negative way, but simply because no one on this earth is perfect. And believe it or not, they don't mind you making mistakes as long as you do one really important thing. Kids, what do you think that would be? If you make a mistake, what would your parents hope that you receive from that action, from that mistake, from being disciplined? Nima, fantastic. Yes, absolutely. They are going to hope that you learn from it. So as long as we can learn from our mistakes, that's really and honestly what it's all about. If we can learn from our mistakes, I'll let you guys kind of see what you're looking at right here. We're going to make mistakes in life. You're going to continue to make mistakes as an adult. even if you're a kid right now and you make a mistake, you're probably going to feel a little bit bad about it if you're in school or you're taking a test or you do something and your mom and dad might not be super happy about it. They understand, they know that it's going to happen. They expect it. At all aspects of our life, we are going to make mistakes. And what I'm trying to tell you right now is do not let the fear of being wrong or the fear of making a mistake hold you back from something. If your mom and your dad told you not to do it, don't do it. But at some point, if you do something that you're not supposed to, that's where discipline comes in. That's where pain comes in. And pain keeps us from doing things that we're not supposed to do. Like right now, I can guarantee you I'm not going to go down to my kitchen and put my hand on the hot stove because it's going to hurt, right? Pain is a very, very important trigger in our minds. Pain helps us remember things not to do. So, as always, since it is a kid webinar, kids, listen to your parents. They know what you're talking. They know what you're talking about. They know what they're talking about. And as you get older, you're going to look back. I'm just telling you right now. You're going to look back at a time in your life, and you're going, man, my mom and dad, they were so right about everything. You know, if you're 16, you're probably thinking, no, I don't necessarily think they know everything in my life. Trust me, they've done everything you've done, probably worse. I remember my dad saying something to that extent when I thought I was a wild child. He said, son, I've already done and forgotten more things than you've done to this point in your life, and even worse. So just understand that your parents have been where you are now in your life, and we've all started as a kid. That's why Kids Month at Real Life Training is so important. We've all started as a kid at some point in our life. So, as we just mentioned, if you can learn from your mistakes, that's going to be a key aspect to discipline. If you make a mistake, we know that they're going to happen, but mistakes are welcomed as you get older in life. When you get into a job, a boss doesn't necessarily want you to ask, hey, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? At some point, you're going to have to take what's called initiative. Initiative simply means if you want to do something and it's within the boundaries of your permission, just do it. And if it's wrong, you'll find out. But you can't let the fear of mistakes hold you back from making the decisions in your life. As a kid, it's very important to know, and as an adult, a lot of adults are afraid of failure, and they're afraid of being wrong, and they're afraid of mistakes. And that simply comes from, at a young age, understanding that there is discipline and then there is growth. And as long as you can learn from the discipline that you're receiving as a younger person, you will always grow as you get older. And that's a really, really big thing. It's a big part of life. Here's another aspects of discipline. So the part that I want to talk about for the next 6 or 7 minutes or so, because I know, again, you guys, this is a school night. I want to make sure you guys are all rested and everything for school tomorrow. Discipline, in my definition of the world, is doing what needs to be done regardless if it feels good or not. That's what discipline is. Doing what needs to be done regardless of if it feels good or not. So let me give you an example. And kids, let's be honest. There are times that we don't want to do homework, right? Type in a 1 if you're like, there are sometimes I just don't want to do homework. Honestly, I don't like doing homework that much either. Right? But it's important. Homework usually is a pretty high score on your overall evaluation in school. And there are going to be times where you might not want to do it. There's also probably going to be times where you don't want to go to bed. There's probably also times you don't want to take a shower or brush your teeth. But those are small pillars that we're going to have to just continually do, because discipline is about doing what needs to be done regardless if it feels good or not. As you get older, exercising might become more of a thing. Right now you have energy that's just boundless, and keep that energy as long as you can and bring it with you, and don't lose it. But at some point as you get older, energy will continue to be something that you need to increase. You need to keep a high energy level at all times, and we do that by working out. So as you get older, running, that's going to be really important, right? Staying healthy, running, jogging, doing what needs to be done regardless of if it feels good or not. Does anyone here play an instrument or a musical instrument? Or is anyone here in karate? Or are you in any kind of extracurricular school activity? Or any of you learning anything new? Fill me in if you are. Let me know. Is anyone here doing anything? Playing piano lessons? Learning something in school? Idris says yes. All right, tell me more. Tell me more, Idris. What are you learning? I'm going to snag a glass of water. Water, that's something that's really important for you. Just throwing that out there. You guys all know that. Nima says wrestling. Ah, you do wrestling, Nima. Okay. All right. I like that. Rowan's playing the violin and Idris playing the piano. Fantastic. Well, these are all really, really good examples of what I'm about to talk about for just a minute. Oh, Rowan's playing the cello and the violin. Wow. All right. Well, Rowan, here's what's going to be really important. There's going to come a time in the next few weeks or months or even a year or two, and Idris and Nima, there's going to come a time where you're going to want to give up. There's going to come a time when you're swimming or when you're playing the cello or when you're, especially if you're wrestling, there will come a time when you want to give up. You feel like the entire world's against you. You feel like you've reached what adults call a plateau. A plateau is where you have reached your maximum, I'm going to do quotes on this, where you reach your maximum performance and you just can't break any higher. You swim as fast as you can swim. You've wrestled as hard as you can wrestle. You've played this song as many times as you can possibly play the song. You still haven't quite nailed it and you're going to want to give up. It happens to all of us. Don't let that fear hold you back from continuing. One of the quotes I find most beneficial to myself is this quote right here. We're going to go back to where I am just a little bit. But this one's going to be very, very important. This is a quote that I really truly hold near and dear to my heart. But kids from around the world, and truly, I promise you, this applies to adults as well. They're not going to want to know that, but it does. If you enjoy what you do, if you like it right now, the real key of discipline is simply never giving up. Never giving up. Success is about 2 to 3 weeks after you feel like giving up. There's going to be a time where you get tired. There's going to be a time where your fingers hurt. There's going to be a time where you're frustrated. There's going to be a time where you just can't remember. You're sleepy. You're hungry. You're annoyed. There will come that time where you feel like giving up. And that's going to happen a lot in your life. A lot. Understand now, even if, and I will say this as openly as I can, I'm not a very good instrument player of any kind. Even if your absolute life passion isn't playing the cello for the rest of your life, it's not about being a professional cello player. It's about proving to yourself, can you mentally and physically push past that barrier of feeling like giving up? Some of us have different talents, skills, and abilities. I could play the cello, Idris, probably for 10 years and never be as good as you are right now. And I don't even know how good you are, but I'm just letting you know that's probably the case. I'm not very good at cello or any musical instrument at all. But the beautiful part is, if I wanted to be, I could make that happen. You have to have a drive, you have to have a hunger, you have to have the want to really do something. So do this for me. If you're playing an instrument, if you're in school, if you're in the wrestling team, if you're working out, there will come a time where you feel like giving up. Just do this for me. Just don't. Even if it's for that one time, push past it 2 to 3 weeks longer. Okay? And you'll see a very interesting growth. Because if you can do that once, there will come a time in your life where something more important will be there in front of you and you'll feel like giving up. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it is something else where you feel like it's just, maybe it's a job. Maybe it's an exam for college. Maybe it's a class, a really, really important test, and you just feel like you can't study enough. Being able to push past that fear or that fatigue is a really, really powerful mechanism for growth, kids, and really adults from around the world. So you know what's interesting, kids, is a lot of this things that I'm talking about really applies to adults as well. But I want to teach you guys because, we were all kids once. Even though I have a much bigger head than I did when I was 13, we were also kids once. So here, let me give you guys 2 real quotes and then I'll send you away. This is a quote by a gentleman by the name of Jim Rohn. He's no longer alive, but he is a very famous motivational speaker. And one of his quotes is, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments." So if you have something that you want to do, so go ahead and give me some of your goals. And I want the goals that you guys have related to the activities you just gave me. So Rowan, you have like a million things going on. You got cello, violin, and swimming. Idris, you have cello and the piano. And Nima, you have wrestling. So go ahead and type in really quick. Even if you don't know the goals right now, just give me a goal. Start thinking about it and just write it down. Whatever it may be. Maybe it's just memorizing a song. Maybe it's memorizing a certain note or a certain pattern or a certain chord or playing at a recital. Nima says he wants to win the state championship. I love it. So here is what that is. So now you have a goal. Discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. With wrestling, and by the way, I'm a big fan of wrestling, Nima. If you ever want to email me about it, feel free to. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for a long time, did a lot of folk wrestling. I never was in any NCAA competitions or anything, but I've done mixed martial arts for a long time and have wrestled and rolled with many, many really, really good wrestlers. People way better than I am. But I know a lot about it. So I know how hard it's going to be, and you're a great age, being at 16, but you're going to come to a part where it's going to get really, really difficult, man, and there's going to be people who are going to potentially beat you. All right, there's going to be people who are going to potentially beat you. I'm going to get to that in just 1 second. Idris wants to do the piano competition. Yes, I love it. Rowan wants to do the competition of the violin. Fantastic. So discipline those are goals. Here's what's really important. Discipline is, even though those are phenomenally important goals, there may be a time where you're going to want to give up and you're not going to want to get there. Simply do your best to get to that level. One of my rules, so I've shared one with you. Let's share the second one. Rule number 1, never give up. Success is 2 to 3 weeks after you feel like giving up. Right when it's too intense for you, keep going just 2 to 3 more weeks. Okay, guys? Number 2, no one is perfect. There is a difference between losing and failing. Kids, that's a very, very important thing to take away for the rest of your life. There is a difference between losing and failing. You will lose at something. You will lose a match. You will lose a championship. You will lose something in your life. You lose a job, lose a friend, lose a relationship. There will be time where you will feel the pain of a loss. But losing is not failing. Would you guys agree? Would you kids agree with me that losing is not failing? There will be a time that you lose. But if you're there and you had the discipline to continue, if you had the discipline to get to the point where you lost, that is more than most people will accomplish. Most people in life will never even make it to a wrestling state championship. Most people in this life will never even reach it to a violin competition. If you are simply there, you have already accomplished it, and you now have a fortification of discipline that most people don't have, and it's simply by proving to yourself that you can slowly reach your goals and get to the place that you guys want to be. Another one of my really most favorite quotes is by Bruce Lee. I think you guys will really, really like this one a lot. Bruce Lee said this, and this is something that my boxing coach and instructor and wrestling instructor and jiu-jitsu practitioner told me a lot of times. I'm not afraid of the guy who knows 1,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the guy who has practiced one kick 1,000 times. And that, my friends, in my opinion, is one of the definitions of discipline. Doing something so much that it begins to hurt, and then continue doing it. And then you're going to feel like you're going to give up, and then continue doing it, and get to your goal, and recognize that you're either going to win or lose, but you did not fail. Number 3 rule, my third and final rule for the night, having discipline and self-confidence is one of the most crucial aspects of being a successful adult. I know you guys are kids right now, but I can promise you, you'll remember this webinar for a long time. 20 years down the road, you're like, man, I remember being in a webinar with a guy with this giant head, really big nose, and he was saying that I'm going to be an adult one day, and now I am. You're going to be an adult one day. So as an adult, discipline and self-confidence are two very, very important attributes that no one can take away from you. Money can be taken away from you. Your house, your car, your job, those are all things that can be taken away from you. But how you feel about yourself and the things that you have told yourself that you will accomplish through discipline will never be taken away from you. And that's something that you can live by for the rest of your life. Do you guys have any questions for me before I send you on your way? I know tonight might be a school night for the majority of you. We're going to have a lot more of these webinars. I really will say thank you so much for being here. You kids who are here live and you are watching right now and recording have already done a massive, massive step towards an incredible future. There are kids from all around the world right now probably playing Clash of Clans or Minecraft or Royal Clash, the new one that they just came out with recently, or a video game of some kind. You guys are here right now investing in yourself, and that is one of the most beautiful things I love about you kids. Thanks so much for being here, Idris and Nima and Rowan. Keep me posted if you don't mind. Maybe your parents can email me on how you guys are doing with your competitions in the future. Wrestling championship of violin. Keep me posted. Let me know. All right, I would love to know how you do. And again, losing or winning doesn't matter. You were there. You gave an effort. You did not fail. Failing is giving up. And as long as you don't give up, you will always win. Kids from around the world, you're absolutely fantastic. I love you guys so much. Have a great night. Sleep well. Eat a hearty breakfast tomorrow and absolutely crush school or violin or piano or cello or wrestling, whatever it is you got going on tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend as well. As a kid, I know we love weekend. Rowan says, my mommy said that no one can steal my violin skills. Exactly. Yes, no one can. That is yours. That is part of you. Continue to learn. Continue to grow. You kids rock. I'll see you later. You are awesome. And until next time, kids, which will actually be Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we're going to do how to get anything that you want. It's going to be a really cool webinar entitled How to Get Anything You Want. If you want it, I'm going to teach you guys how to get it. Have an awesome night. I'll see you later. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Peace.